And just make sure when you guys talk, try to talk clearly into the mic so they can hear you.
Thanks, sir.
Seth, you can start. Go ahead.
Thank you. Guys, congrats on the win. Both of you, give us a lowdown on what you think happened and what does this mean for the team going forward?
Just to start defensively, I think we played an outstanding game today. I think, as a team, though, I think we played really great in the first half. In the second half, we got to clean some stuff up. But, it was great to get our first win at home, and I'm just really proud of the guys.
Yeah, kind of what he hit on. In the first half, I was very pleased with the offense. We score all of our drive spots won. We can't have a turnover. We'll learn from that. But then in the second half, we got to be better. Can't take the foot off the gas, because going on in the future, if we do that, then the team can sneak back in. We just need to play really good football all 4 quarters, but the defense played phenomenal, and that's what really helped us win today.
What do you think happened in the second half with the offense?
I think we just got content and comfortable. We were up 24-0, which is a positive, but you'd like to score or end every drive of points, and once we got to 24, we didn't do that.
As far as the defense, my final question, as far as the defense, I thought a pretty outstanding game. How were you able to contain them?
We just saw on film that they were kind of rotating quarterbacks, trying to figure out who they wanted to go with, and we knew they had some pretty good running backs, and their offensive line was pretty good, so we just had to make sure we could stop the run and kind of hold them to one-dimensional throwing the ball, because it's not something they do very well. But we just played really good complementary football on defense. Everybody was making the plays.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ken.
Ken Kreitzer, Cam Vets Media. Start with Caleb. Just defense is making plays. How important again was it to stop their first possession? Jack Bosom made a pressure that forced the punt.
It's not something we've done much this year. Stop a team on their first drive. So that was great to stop them on the first drive. And like I said, it was outstanding seeing everybody at every position making their plays. And Jack Bosom and that D-line group as a whole, played a really good game.
And also, right at the end of the second quarter, Eric Ford had a sack, which again forced a punt. How important was it just you were able to stop their fourth down plays and also force them to punt?
Yeah, I think it's important to give the ball back to the offense and let them take control of the time of possession, and then also just put their defense back out and let them get beat up and battered. So Ford made a really good play, and then our D lineman had 2 really good plays down there, forced them to punt, and we just did that quite a bit today.
Great, congratulations. Cale, maybe talk about in the first quarter, you had a 50-yard run. You're on the left sideline, you cut across the field, you're running for the pylon, and you just missed it. You got to the 1-yard line, you scored on the next play. Just tell us about that sequence.
Yeah, leading up to that, we were moving the ball well on the ground. Coach Worley had a phenomenal play call, ran counter, and the defense bid on it, so we got great leverage, and guard and tackle pulled, and Teddy Williams made a phenomenal block. I cut off of it, and then I just tried to push to get in the end zone, but I got caught. Got to get faster, I guess.
And Cale, maybe just tell us about your 44-yard pass to Noah Short. It was a 4th and goal. Then you had 4th and goal at the 1, and you scored on the 1-yard run. Tell us about that sequence.
Yeah, that drive, the fact that we ended a touchdown was huge. We got behind the chains was. We don't need to do that. Getting 3rd and long is not the type of offense that we want to see. But we had a good play, installed that play today, and Noah ran a great route and got separation, and I was able to complete the pass. And then ultimately, scoring on that drive, coming from 3rd and 9 from the 50, and then being able to put 7 or 6 points in the end zone, that was huge. I
got to ask you just the last question. To go 14-0 up, you had a 17-yard 17-play drive, 10:51, 85 yards. You had 6 different ball carriers. Carson Smith scores. You had 40 yards on the drive. Just tell us about what it was like to keep that momentum and rhythm going.
Yeah, that was huge. That's Army football right there. That's Black Flag. That's Army's offense, and that type of drive is we need to put those together all the time. That was huge. We allowed the defense to get rest on the sideline. And having guys that we have the capability of, like you said, 6 people running the ball. A lot of teams don't have that. We have that, and it's huge, and we rely on it. The O-line, that's the engine to our offense, and we were able to run behind them, and they're what kick-started that drive, and it was Army football.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else here?
Right here.
Go ahead.
Cale, was there any point in the game where you felt like you guys had a solid lead over Charlotte today?
Oh yes, sir, for sure. going into halftime 17-0 is a great feeling. You know, we wanted to score on that first drive, we didn't, but once the defense got a stop early, and then we were able to score, go up 24-0, that was a great feeling.
I'm sure.
Go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, how much was the game plan centered around imposing your will on offense? Because it seems like you were ready and willing to grind out drives today.
Yeah, you know, I think I was telling this earlier. Me and Decole, we both do a great job of, you know, practicing practicing as if it's a game and putting ourselves in game situations. You know, it wasn't until Friday that I was got told by Coach Roy that I was going to be the guy. But you know, it's all practice. You know, there's peace and preparation. And when you practice as if you're a game, you know, when your numbers call, it's good. Coach Roy likes to run the quarterback. You know, we have great D-backs that can run the ball or block. We have great offensive line, and you know, when we're getting 5 to 6 yards a carry, it's just why not? You know, keep going.
Anyone else here? Go to Zoom. Joey Acano, go ahead.
Hey guys, congratulations on the win. Caleb, first question for you. Looked like today was the most pressure you guys have gotten on opposing quarterbacks all season. The pressure was there on almost every pass play, and then it kind of complemented really well your short yardage run defense and all the turnovers on downs you guys caused. Talk a little bit about the pressure you were able to apply today. And the play of the front seven, specifically the defensive line, I thought definitely had their best game of the season.
Without a doubt, Joe, I think the defensive line did a phenomenal job of, you know, getting the quarterback off his spot and just causing some hurry-ups and pressure. And, you know, backers blitzing 2 man in ahead, you know, getting the quarterback off his spot. You know, it was just a great job in the box, and, you know, it's something we got to continue to do moving forward to, you know, be successful on defense.
Thanks, Caleb. And last question for Cale. On the other side, you know, somebody mentioned it, Army kind of dominated in the trenches a lot of the day, specifically the mob in the first half. You know, not to single anyone out because all 5 of them in the tight ends are all blocking great, but Teddy Williams had a couple pancakes, big block on your counter play, which kind of sprung you. Talk a little bit about the O-line's play specifically in the first half.
Yeah, man, those are my guys, and you know, like I said every time, they're the engines of our offense. They're phenomenal. You know, last year they got voted the best O-line in the country, and you know, I wouldn't put it past them this year as well. You know, those guys, all 5 of them are incredible. Our tight ends are incredible, and they just impose their will. You know, and when they're moving the D line, creating a new line of scrimmage 4 or 3 yards off the ball, it's an awesome feeling. I love running behind each and every one of them, and you know, they're awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Ken McMillan.
Cale, could you talk about the efforts of Carson Smith and Briggs Bartosh, what they offered today?
Yeah, you know, those guys are great, and for weeks on end now they've been playing excellent. They've stepped up, you know, and they're great with the ball in their hands. But you know, what's impressive is how they play without the ball in their hands. You know, I don't think we'd be able to rush for 300 yards in a game if it weren't for how our B-backs, you know, block. You know, they pick up key blocks each and every play, and then when they do get the ball in their hand, they run hard. Very rarely will you see one guy be able to bring any of them down, and it's just awesome. You know, we pride ourselves in running the ball, and we pride ourselves in blocking. And you know, when you see skilled players get physical and dirty, and you know, kind of like an O-line mentality, it's awesome to see.
Cale, can I ask you on your 50-yard run, did you get tired at the end?
Yeah, for sure. I got tired, and then Coach really was in my ear yelling to get back on the ball because we knew we were just going to run it down the throat.
And Cale, how important is it to not only get the win, but the nature of the win heading into the Tulane matchup?
I think it's good momentum, and it's, you know, it's really good to go into a tough game as Tulane's going to be really horrible for us with a win, and you know, I think it's going to be a really hard week of practice and good preparation in order for us to compete against Tulane, and it's just awesome to finally get our first win at home.
Thank you.
Mr. Guzman, do you have a question?
Caleb, how do you set the tone as captain of the team?
Man, it's a loaded question, big dog. I think it's important to know that everybody's got to, you know, execute and make their plays when it comes to them, but also just, you know, knowing that they don't just do it for themselves, but they do it for the person beside them, because that's ultimately what it's about when you play here at Army. Good question, big dog.
Cool. You guys are all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Quinn.
Cool. Next, we'll have running back Carson Smith and linebacker Eric
Hill.
Ford.
See you, sir. See you, Quinn.
You got it.
We've got Carson Smith and Eric Ford coming in.
Yep.
To stock to Cale Hellums and Cale Fortner.
We'll start with our guys in person, then we'll go to Zoom. Ken Kreitzer, go ahead first.
Thank you. Ken Kreitzer, Camp Vets Media. To start with Carson, we're just talking a little bit about the 17-play drive you had in the second quarter, 10:51, 85 yards, and you got the touchdown. You had a couple of key runs in it. What was it like when you get the running game going so well?
I mean, yeah, it's what Army football is, a 17-play long drive like that. It's what we're known for. It's our culture. And so, like, being able to have a drive like that and really set the tone for what was a dominant first half, I felt like, by us, was really nice.
Thank you. Eric, just to ask you about, you had a sack end of the second quarter, forced the punt. Tell us a little bit about that play.
It was a pretty nice play because, the D-line's been working with me in practice, trying to get me better at my pass rushing skills, and it just finally paid off.
And just, we talked a little bit with Caleb Fortner about stopping the opening drive and forcing a punt. Jack Bowson had a big play on that. What was it? What did you do that enabled you to get off to a good start on defense?
We just played together. We just played with a fire. We just went out there with a focus.
Very good. Thank you.
Go to Seth and Sal. Seth, go ahead.
Thank you. Seth Medicine, Black Knight Nation. Guys, you're 3-3 now after winning the last two games. What is this stage for the team? What do you see this helping? How does this help the team going forward as you get into a tough part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's momentum, coming off back-to-back wins, you kind of build that confidence back up and just get that momentum to where, you get the middle stretch of the season where, teams are starting to get banged up, bodies start to take a toll. I think that's where we really shine. We just play such a tough, hard-nosed brand of football that I feel like the middle and late season where you really see us thrive.
Anything to add?
Yeah, it's definitely momentum. It's nice to be 3-3. It's better than what it could be if we lost. So, that's just better with us.
Do you think the team's starting to come together? Less errors. I think there was only one turnover by Army today. Do you see a change in the attitude of the team, the playmaking of the team?
Mm-hmm, definitely. I think, especially in practice more than anything, I think we're just coming with a lot more just enthusiasm and just overall just like life during practices. Like at the end of every practice, we're telling guys just just getting high, just like that was a great practice, and just each day just trying to have a great practice so that that come game day we're able to do what we do.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Sal.
Eric, there seems like now there's an expectation for the defense to kind of shut teams down and get the offense the ball. Almost 3 games now, you guys have done that. Now you're going to go up against a Tulane team who has put up some points. How important is to keep that defensive momentum going into practice and into next Saturday?
Well, Tulane has a really good team, so it's very important. But regardless of who we're playing, it's always important for the defense to go out there and show what they can do, play to our max potential.
Chuck, do you have anything?
Yeah. Eric, did you come in the game today with any specific strategy on how to go up against Charlotte?
We watch film just like they do, so we had our strategies. But at the end of the day, regardless of what you watch, you got to go out there and play. So that's what I did.
Go ahead. We'll go on Zoom now to Joe Iacono. Joe, go ahead.
Hey guys, congratulations on the win. Carson, talk about getting your first career touchdown today.
Obviously, it's great. It's what you dreamed of. That's why you play college football, is to make those moments. So obviously, it was really nice. But I mean, like we talked about earlier with that long drive, just being able to see us just come together and just to sustain such a dominant Army football drive, run after run, we're just hitting everything, and so like just be able to cap it off, and just kind of build that momentum for the game was really nice.
And speaking of that last question, it looked like, especially on that drive, you were 4 or 5 yards into the defense before you were even getting touched. The offensive line was just moving the line of scrimmage, especially the first and second quarter today. Talk a little bit about what that felt like, being able to run behind that line as they were resetting the line of scrimmage on almost every play.
I mean, yeah, those guys they're animals, man. I mean, they're so dominant. They're such a great core of dudes who just will fight for you. And they were getting a lot of movement. I mean, the very first few plays, we were like, all right, what's the front, and let's see how the line does. And the line's moving, every single play. And so that just makes my job so much easier and just instills confidence in me to be able to just go out there and just play.
Thanks, guys.
We'll go now to Ken McMillan. Ken, go ahead.
Eric, congratulations on the win. Is there something about the defense playing better together these last 2 weeks? Do you see something happening?
I see us coming out with more focus and intent. It's about how we practice, and we've been practicing a lot better. Just with more enthusiasm, focus, and effort. So it definitely paid off.
But is there something about compatibility with one another and understanding what each of your roles is?
We're all pretty close with each other, so I feel like we're very compatible. But we're just putting more focus into things now. We have to turn it around.
And Carson, not to rain on the parade, but I listened to Coach Monken after the game, and for as happy as he was at times of the game, he was also very critical of the team in the second half. Offense not getting it done, etc. How important is it for you guys to be reminded by the coaches that you got to play a full 60?
It's vital. I mean, yeah, it's there's 4 quarters, 2 halves. You have to play a complete game if you want to be a good team, a great team. If we want to continue the success, if we want to run the table at the end of the season, we got to play 4 quarters of fundamental good football. Obviously, in the second half, there was a lot to be desired. Definitely could have played better, but coming out 3-3, that momentum's good and that confidence is good. But while you're patting yourself on the back, sometimes it's nice to have that reminder to be like, we got to be better in certain areas. And so just come and have that mindset to come back tomorrow and just keep working, keep practicing harder, so that we can just continue to build. You can't just say complacent.
And just to follow on your 3-3 statement, think of where you guys could have been 2 weeks ago. This is a definite positive direction for Army.
100%. I mean, and we're not going to dwell on the past, and that's not what this is about. We immediately, it's a 1-0 mindset. It's, this game is behind us. We're on to the next week. It's 1-0. It's this next week. It's nothing before it matters. We don't care. We're 3-3. We don't care. We've won last 2. It's on to the next game, on to the next opponent, and just doing our best to win.
Excited to play Tulane?
100%. Yeah, excited to play every game. It's college football.
Anything else on Zoom or in person? Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Coach Monken will be next.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
That was Army outside linebacker Eric Ford, who had a sack on the day. And